afternoon, everyone. Thanks for joining us today. Coach Leach is at the podium. We'll go with questions in the room first, followed by questions on the phone. So go ahead, Theo, get us started.
Was there anything on film that looked better or worse than it did on the field on Saturday?
Well, I don't know. I think that offensively, I thought that we did a pretty good job as far as consistently making plays. I thought O-line wise, we had a bad series, and we could have blocked better at the second level. I think that we blocked relatively well at receiver. Thought we could have been a little more precise on routes at times. Defensive line, I thought as the game went on, we more and more started to affect the quarterback. I thought that the secondary and linebackers, once they adjusted to the tempo and stuff, they got better and better as the game went on. And I did think we adjusted well. I thought we should have come out perhaps, or we hoped to come out a little sharper, but we did adjust well and fairly quickly, and we got a lot of on both sides of the ball, got a lot of guys in the game, so that was good.
As far as managing the reps at X receiver, do you think you'll only play 2 guys per game, and then maybe the other guy gets the opportunity the next game, or how do you manage those reps?
Yeah, that's a good question. We'll meet on that today. Don't have a clear-cut plan with that. Part of it is those guys are kind of playing keep away with us just a little bit. One guy looks like he's the best player, then the other guy beats him out, then the other guy beats him out, and so it goes. And then, Roderick Fisher got really hot late in camp, so they've been moving targets.
Speaking of Rod Fisher, what did you think of his performance on Saturday?
Thought he played good. Thought he played fast. One thing Rod Fisher always does is plays full speed, and I think that's one thing that's distinguished him. He doesn't waste any time playing slow.
And taking a look back at the film, I know after the game Saturday, you mentioned as far as quarterbacks making their first career start, you really liked how Gordon performed. Just taking a look back at the film, was there anything that maybe you picked up on that he did well that allowed him to have that success?
I thought he went through his reads. I thought he was really good at going through his reads. He went through his reads nearly every play. I thought the checks he made were sharp. And then, the one thing he did that he'd been doing in practice was the ball comes off his hand quickly and accurately. And so then, as a result, receivers get more yards after the catch.
Is there anything you'd like to maybe see him improve on this week and into Saturday?
Just overall, just keep getting better, just keep elevating. And I think that the other thing, not just him, but then the team and the offense in general get used to him kind of leading them and playing. They adjust each other's play, and then everybody improves.
As far as your receivers getting yards after the catch, do you think this group is kind of the most capable of doing that compared to the other groups here? You had Travell kind of cut across the field. Dez got about 40 or 50 yards after that catch on the touchdown. Do you think that's the best you've ever seen?
It was good. We did a good job of getting straight up field after the initial catch, and I think that's the most important part. If we keep doing that, and don't get tempted to kind of dance and run in place, all kinds of these stupid moves and things like that. The one thing you saw our receivers do is go upfield. You didn't see a bunch of stupid moves, and that's just what they are, stupid. And hopefully we can avoid that and not fall into that disease of making a bunch of dumb moves.
How do you feel the defense did on getting pressure on the quarterback?
Better and better as the game went on. And I thought he was a really good quarterback. I really think that guy could I truly believe that guy could start at all but 3 teams in this league.
The next team you're about to play lets up a pretty decent amount of sacks. What do you hope to see out of your front set, even if you send some DBs on blitzes? What do you hope to see?
We need to be just sharper as far as our transitions. When we line move or loop, we gotta be sharper on that, and, you know, and then our D-line, which, to their credit, was saying after the game themselves, they need to play with lower pads next game, and that's the thing, is just consistently play with low pads and run your feet.
This was, if not the most efficient one, most efficient in terms of yards per play from a quarterback since you've been here. Is that something that you saw or kind of noticed during the game, or something you saw after?
Well, as it went on, I mean, he was really accurate until we dropped that one ball. I don't know how many straight he would have hit, probably about 30, which is impressive. And then, but, you know, I think a lot of it is just the efforts of everybody complementing one another, and I think a lot of that started in spring.
What kind of challenges will Northern Colorado throw your way?
They're big. They're kind of a big, aggressive team, and they look like I think they're getting better too. And but they, like I say, pretty good size. I don't know a ton about them. I've watched a little film, and I'm going to watch more today. But you know, I think they're a good, solid Big Sky team that's on the rise.
Seen their quarterback yet?
I've heard he's really good. I haven't, just a few glimpses of play here, play there. I mainly am watching the defense, but yeah, he's a kind of a statuesque guy, you know, and supposed to be really good.
Do you think there's been a shift in maybe culture here as far as how you guys approach those games from 3 years ago, and you guys are kind of taking care of business against teams that traditionally maybe you wouldn't be as excited to play as a WSU or Oregon, but it seems like you guys are kind of treating every game equally now?
Well, you should. If you're going to improve, I mean, the quickest way to improve is constantly be pushing yourself to put your best out there, so then you discover, you know, keep stretching the dimensions of what you're capable of. But now we're excited to play. Got a game this week, and we're thrilled to have it too. So.
Any questions on the phone line for Coach Leach?
Hey, yeah, Coach. Oops.
Go ahead, Justin.
Okay, thanks. Desmond here. I noticed Lamont McDougal didn't get in until later in the game. Was wondering if we might see a little bit more of him this weekend.
Probably. I don't know exactly the rep total or how much they repped Lamont. Didn't really discuss that, but I would imagine so. And he's been practicing pretty well.
And on the O-line, I mean, they only got one sack on Gordon there. What did you think of them?
Thought they did pretty good. I thought we could have blocked a little better at the second level as time went on in the game. I thought generally pass protection was pretty good, and thought we were an eyelash away on some of the runs, you know, as far as just get a little more and you know, just get a little more movement.
Thanks, Coach.
Yeah.
Coach Scott Hampton, Seattle Times. I was curious if you saw anything on the film that surprised you that you weren't expecting to see.
No, not really. You know, for a first game and first time out, you're always wondering how it'll spill out after not playing for so long. And I would say we were a little sharper than I guess I expected us to be overall, you know, for a first game. You know, our returners played like returners. Our young guys played like young guys initially, but bounced out of it.
Thanks.
Yeah.
Mike, this is Griffey. Last year, the NCAA instituted the rule that allowing kids to play 4 games before redshirting. Some of your kids use that. Do you think that's going to be a positive going forward?
I think it's definitely a step in the right direction. I've always thought there should just be 5 years of eligibility. You know, not mess around with red shirt this game, that game, the other game. You have 5 years, you know. And it makes so much sense that everybody refuses to do it. but 5 years eligibility, I guess that would put a lot of accountants and rule makers out of business, but because just imagine the legislation we would do away with on that. But I think that'd be the best way to do it, but short of that, I think the 4 games is definitely a step in the right direction.
Any other questions on the phone line for Coach? Okay, back in the room.
Mike, there was a stretch in this program where season openers were a bit of a hurdle, and it was always kind of a vague thing at the time. In retrospect, is there any more clarity now that that problem seems to have been solved?
I don't know if anything's solved, but we're a better team. I mean, we've got better players. And then the other thing is, as far as just work ethic and a sense of purpose and working together, there's a sense of that where everybody's kind of on the same page and pushes one another that direction.
I think there were 3 Pac-12 quarterbacks who left games with injuries this week. How important is it to continue to develop Tinsley and Gage? And both of them got some significant time on Saturday. You said you hope to play them as long as you guys are scoring points. Is it really important to have 1 or 2 really good backups in your program?
Well, you better have a backup for sure, Try not to get them injured, but you better have a backup.
Will those 2 kind of rotate as the backup for now, or is Gage clearly the number 2 guy right now?
It appears to me they're pretty neck and neck. I think they're pretty close. I think Gordon's clear cut ahead, but I think the Gage and Tinsley are pretty close.
What did you like from Gage? He converted a touchdown. First snap didn't go so well, but.
Well, the one snap was just a bad snap, but that wasn't his fault. But I thought the result of the drive was good. I just think he's got to improve on communication and reading the field, but it's competitive overall. It was pretty good. I thought Trey was pretty sharp. The penalty hurt us, and so did the drop ball. One ball, a guy wasn't looking, another ball, a guy dropped. But I think he's sharp, communicates well.
When you were at Texas Tech, did you ever have a quarterback who threw a touchdown pass against your team and then for your team later on?
No, never.
Was that almost weird to see Gage in a WSU uniform?
A little bit, but the other thing that was weird was, like Gage mentioned, which I hadn't even thought of, because you recruit these guys, you just have a highlight video. Put together a highlight video at the end of the year, and hey, here's all our highlights. Check this out. Well, so as we're recruiting Gage is watching the same highlight video. We've shown all the recruits all year, and some of the highlights are Gage getting his ass knocked off, And so anyways, we didn't think to edit it, and there's Gage. Here, looky here. See, we won't knock your ass off anymore if you come to this school. So anyway, yeah, we probably would have edited them out if we'd thought about it.
Speaking kind of outside of the Pac-12, there's 4 SEC schools that lost. There's some surprises outside of college football. Did you pay much attention to the first weekend of college football, and anything stand out to you?
Nah, not really. The thing when I was broadcasting, me and Jack Root had a bet on this thing. And now it's kind of a moving target because I lose track who's 1AA and who's 1A, because all the 1AAs are going 1A, all the Division IIs are going 1AA, and but anyway, so we had this whole discussion on the 1AAs, and then he says, "I'll bet you." We're arguing about that. There's going to be upsets. 1AA teams are going to upset 1A teams, and he said there won't be more than 2. I said there will be at least 5, and we stopped counting at 7. So there were over 7. I don't remember how many there were, but we stopped counting at 7. So, yeah.
looks like Ryan Helensky is going to get his first start at South Carolina this coming week. Their quarterback went down. How neat of a thing is that for Ryan?
We're excited for Ryan. Of course, we thought I've known him for a long time, thought he was a great quarterback. And I know the coaches at South Carolina, and they're really excited to have him. And I know he can throw the ball well, too.
Anything else for Coach? All right, Rob, go ahead.
Coach, Area 51 has been a hot topic for discussion over the last few months. Later this month, there's supposed to be an event called Storm Area 51. People are going to go over there and try to figure out what the heck's going on. What do you think goes on over at Area 51?
What I think goes on is I think that they test things there. I think, stuff that the military and the government's developing, I would imagine they test it there. Work with the prototypes and things like that there. If they have, found spacemen or any Roswell stuff, that'd probably be a pretty good play. That'd probably be where they would store it if if there is such things. But I think it's, I think it's pretty much a test site where they test and develop everything from, aircraft to bombs to some type of technology, because there's got to be a place to do that. I suspect that if they didn't cryptically call it Area 51 and it didn't have, just the eager, cold, no one allowed quality that it has, it probably wouldn't be quite as exciting as it is. And of course, you throw aliens on top of that, and the curiosity goes wild. So, but that's what I think it is. I think it's predominantly a test site.
Did you ever storm Area 51?
No, I don't think that'd be a good idea, because then they just might test out the stuff they're testing on you to ensure that you don't get in there. Our government lately has shown some resistance to enforcing laws around this country to the detriment of its citizens. I suspect those wouldn't be laws that they chose not to enforce.
Do you think there's proof of alien life there?
I don't know. I think if there is proof of it, if there is proof of it, that would be a pretty good starting place to look, I would think.
What do you think about just the idea of getting so many people together to storm? Kind of like a team, like if you can do it, get so many people storming.
Well, they ought to have Burning Man or something instead, just an extra Burning Man or a concert or something, because, sitting there trying to go through barbed wire fence while, there's a bunch of aircraft over the top of you or whatever. I mean, I don't think that'd be quite as much fun as some of the alternatives that you could have. But, I mean, what are we to assume? 10,000 people are going to go start digging through warehouses. And there, I do think there is an end of days quality if we allow that type of thing to happen anyway, so.
Would you ever go to Burning Man?
To where?
Burning Man?
Yes, I would. I'd like to go. It's during the season.
What's intriguing about it to you?
Well, part of it is because initially I thought that I wouldn't, but I know people that have gone, and they all say it's fantastic. And then the other thing, it's difficult for them to describe it, but they all say it's great. And they they're kind of folks that come from kind of different places, like incredibly wild to, like a guy I went to law school with, and they all say it's just a cool spectacle to see, yeah, but it's during the season.
Anything else for Coach? All right, thanks, Coach.
All right, thanks.